Far beyond the bright stars and distant galaxies, the alien queen sat on her throne. A towering figure cloaked in dark metals that shimmered under the pale light of her command chamber. Her eyes, sharp and cold, scanned the reports brought to her by her trusted advisors, news of a species called humans. Legends told of their bravery, their fierce spirit, and their ability to survive against impossible odds. Yet she dismissed these stories as mere fairy tales, myths created by weak minds to inspire hope. To her, humans were primitive beings, born on a small blue planet with no real technology or power to challenge her vast empire. Her advisors tried to warn her, reminding her of countless encounters where humans had fought with a strange kind of courage and cleverness that defied logic. But the queen only smiled with a hint of cruel amusement. She believed her advanced weapons, her massive fleets, and her army of loyal soldiers were more than enough to crush any resistance. Meanwhile, on a forgotten edge of known space, where star charts faded into blackness and only faint signals echoed from distant worlds, a small human outpost clung to existence. It was nothing like the massive star stations of the alien empire or the glowing cities on other planets. This outpost was rough, built from scrap and sweat, home to hardened men and women who lived by the strength of their will and the sharpness of their minds. Among them stood Captain Mara Raines, a warrior seasoned by years of battle, known for her steady hand and calm mind, even when the odds were stacked high. She was preparing her squad for a patrol through the dark void, a mission as routine as any other but filled with the silent tension that always came with the unknown. Her soldiers gathered their gear, checked their weapons, and exchanged quiet words, aware that the void was unpredictable. Mara herself felt a strange pull in her. Not fear, but a deep sense that something beyond routine was waiting for them. As the patrol ship's engines hummed to life and the airlock hissed shut behind them, no one could guess the storm brewing far beyond the stars. A storm that would shake the very foundations of what the alien queen believed about humans. Unseen by Mara or her squad, signals flickered across the galaxy, whispering of an encounter, a chance meeting that would spark a chain of events turning myths into reality. The queen, still seated on her throne, finally sent out a scouting vessel to ward the human outpost, not out of respect, but curiosity tinged with arrogance. She wanted to see for herself if these legendary warriors were real or just shadows, made larger by time and fear. As Mara's ship cut through the darkness, the stars seemed to grow colder, the silence stretching between worlds heavier. Every step they took into the unknown was a step toward a destiny neither side could yet understand. In the quiet moments before the patrol left the outpost, Mara glanced at the stars, feeling the weight of history and legend pressing down. Somewhere out there, the alien queen watched and waited, unaware that soon she would stand face to face with the very humans she had long underestimated. The patrol ship's engines faded into the void, carrying Mara and her squad into a future where courage would be tested, myths challenged and legends reborn. Captain Mara Raines and her squad had barely left the edge of their outpost's known space when the silence of the void was shattered by an unexpected blip on their scanners. An unknown ship, moving fast and sleek, far more advanced than anything they had encountered before. The ship's design was unlike anything in human records, smooth, dark, and almost alive with energy. Mara's heart raced, but her training kept her steady. She ordered her squad to battle stations, knowing this could be the moment the legends warned about. The alien scout ship, sent by the alien queen herself to probe humanity's strength, moved swiftly, closing the distance with deadly precision. There was no time for hesitation. Mara's squad was smaller, their weapons less powerful, but what they lacked in firepower, they made up for with cunning and courage. As the scout ship opened fire, beams of intense energy sliced through the darkness, forcing Mara's team to take cover behind the ship's hull and use the shadows of nearby asteroid debris. The battle that followed was not just about guns or strength, it was a test of wit and will. Mara ordered her squad to split and flank, using the ship's limited size to their advantage. They launched decoys, rerouted power to shields at crucial moments, and employed guerrilla tactics that left the alien crew frustrated and off balance. Each member of Mara's squad moved like a well-oiled machine, communicating silently with hand signals and subtle gestures. Turning what could have been a slaughter into a fight for survival, the human warrior's relentless spirit shone through, refusing to back down even when the alien technology seemed unbeatable. Despite being outgunned and outmatched, Mara's squad managed to disable a key weapon on the scout ship, creating a narrow window to escape. With engines roaring, they pushed their ship to its limits, weaving through asteroid fields and using every trick to avoid pursuit. The alien scout ship, damaged but still deadly, called in their findings to the alien queen. News of the skirmish spread like wildfire back at the human outpost, reigniting old stories about humanity's never-ending fight against overwhelming odds. The tale of Mara's squad's daring escape quickly grew into a symbol of defiance and hope among the humans scattered across the stars. The alien queen, who had once dismissed human warriors as mere legends, found herself both intrigued and frustrated by this unexpected show of resilience. She realized that these humans were not the weak, easily conquered species she had imagined. With a new resolve, she decided that it was time to see the truth for herself. No longer content with hearsay or distant reports, the Queen summoned a group of her most skilled diplomats and warriors to journey to human space and assess the humans behind the stories firsthand. As Mara's squad returned to the outpost, their victory was quiet but profound. They had faced a force far greater than themselves and survived, proving that humanity's strength lay not only in weapons but in heart and mind. Unbeknownst to them, the galaxy was watching, and the alien queen's curiosity marked the beginning of a challenge that would test the limits of both species. The encounter was a spark, igniting a fire that neither the alien queen nor humanity could ignore, setting the stage for a confrontation that would change the fate of the stars forever. When the alien queen's massive ship entered human space, it cast a long shadow over the star systems that had once felt safe and isolated. Her presence alone was a message, an overwhelming show of power wrapped in cold arrogance that made even the bravest commanders pause. The ship itself was a floating fortress, its hull shimmering with unknown alloys, pulsing with energy that seemed to hum with ancient might. On board, the Queen radiated confidence, her every movement commanding respect and fear. She sent her message across all channels: surrender immediately and join her empire, or face total destruction. It was an ultimatum meant to break spirits and bend wills without a fight. But on the surface worlds, in crowded command centers and quiet briefing rooms, her message was met not with panic, but with steel resolve. The humans had heard the legends of the alien queen's merciless conquests, yet they refused to bow. Captain Mara Raines, standing before her assembled fleet, stepped forward with quiet strength and unshakable determination. She represented not only her soldiers, but all of humanity's pride and will. Mara did not accept the Queen's demand with fear or submission. Instead, she proposed to challenge a duel to settle the question of strength and honor once and for all. This duel was not to be a mere battle of weapons, but a test of strategy, courage, and leadership. It was an invitation to prove which species deserved to claim the stars. The Queen, intrigued by this unexpected defiance, accepted. The decision surprised even her advisors, who saw it as a gamble that could either humiliate or confirm her power. The challenge was announced across both human and alien worlds, becoming an event charged with tension and expectation.
Us, soldiers,
and civilians alike awaited the confrontation, knowing it could decide the future of humanity's place in the galaxy. As the day of the duel approached, the atmosphere was thick with anticipation. Mara trained with her squad, refining tactics and sharpening skills, while the Queen prepared with her elite warriors. Each side aware that this battle was more than just a fight, it was a symbol of identity, of survival, and of the unyielding spirit that defined their people. When the time came, the two met on a neutral ground, a small barren planet chosen. For its harsh terrain and minimal chance of outside interference, the sky above was empty, save for the distant stars watching silently as two great forces prepared to clash. The duel began not with fury, but with calculated moves, each side testing the other's strength and resolve. Mara's humans used their environment, adapting quickly to unexpected challenges and exploiting every weakness the Queen's forces revealed. The alien Queen, a master of combat and command, responded with precision and power, her presence alone intimidating even the most hardened warriors. Yet, throughout the battle, Mara's calm focus never wavered. Her leadership inspired her team to push beyond their limits. Fighting with a combination of intelligence, teamwork, and raw courage that surprised even their powerful opponent. Duels stretched on, neither side gaining a clear upper hand, as strategy met strength and spirit battled technology. It was clear that this was more than a simple fight. It was a test of what it meant to be truly strong. As the sun set on the barren world, casting long shadows across the battlefield, both sides paused, breathing hard, bodies aching, but minds sharp and alert. Respect had grown where arrogance once stood, and in that moment the alien Queen saw something she had never expected. Humans were not just survivors. They were worthy challengers, equal in will and honor. The stage was now set not just for a duel, but for a new chapter in interstellar history, one where legends would be forged. Not through conquest alone, but through respect earned on the field of battle. The galaxy held its breath, knowing that what came next could change everything. The battlefield lay sprawled beneath a dim, fractured sky, its surface scarred by the echoes of countless clashes that had taken place during the duel between Captain Mara Raines and the alien Queen. Neither side was willing to yield. The air thick with tension and the silent weight of history in the making. From the very first moments, it was clear this was no ordinary fight. The alien Queen moved with a grace and power that few could match, her strikes swift and deadly, each one a demonstration of centuries of combat mastery. But Mara was not just fighting with weapons, she was fighting with every part of her being. Her sharp mind, her instincts sharpened by countless battles, and the unbreakable bond with her squad. Her warriors moved as one, anticipating the Queen's attacks, covering each other's weaknesses and launching coordinated strikes that tested the limits of the Queen's defenses. The Queen, for all her skill, found herself pushed beyond the bounds of expectation. Mara's adaptability was unlike anything the Queen had faced before. When the terrain shifted, Mara adjusted her tactics. When the Queen struck with overwhelming force, Mara's squad responded with unexpected maneuvers that caught even the Queen off guard. The human warriors' creativity shone brightest when hope seemed scarce, their refusal to surrender fueling a spirit that the Queen could neither understand nor easily defeat. As the duel raged on, it became clear to the Queen that humanity's strength was not just in raw power, but in the unity of spirit and the relentless hope that drove them forward. No matter the odds, each strike, each defensive move was not just about survival, but about proving a point that they were worthy opponents, equals in the vast expanse of the universe. The battle was brutal and exhausting. The ground beneath them cracked and smoldering from the force of their combat, yet neither side delivered a final blow. Instead, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the war-torn land, the two warriors stood facing each other, breathless, battered, but unbroken. The duel ended not with victory or defeat, but with a stalemate that spoke volumes. In the silent space between them, a new understanding took root. Respect, hard-earned and genuine, bridged the gap between species long divided by fear and misunderstanding. The alien Queen, once so certain of her superiority, saw in Mara the embodiment of human resilience and hope, qualities that no technology or weapon could destroy. Mara, too, recognized in the Queen a worthy adversary, one whose strength demanded honor, not hatred. The quiet that followed was filled not with relief, but with the promise of change. A turning point where old legends would evolve into new truths. Across the galaxy, tales of the clash of titans spread, inspiring those who heard them to believe that courage and unity could face even the greatest of challenges. And so, the duel concluded, not with the fall of one, but with the rise of both. Their legacies forever entwined in the story of humanity's fight to claim its place among the stars. After the intense duel that had shaken the very foundations of the galaxy, the alien queen found herself standing at a crossroads she had never expected to face. The fierce spirit and unyielding courage of humanity had forced her to rethink everything she believed about this small, seemingly insignificant species. No longer were they mere legends or stories whispered in fear and doubt. They were real, formidable, and deserving of respect. In the vast silence of her throne room aboard her colossal ship, the queen contemplated the future. The path of conquest and destruction, once so clear and certain, now seemed narrow and fraught with unknown dangers. She saw the humans not just as fighters, but as potential partners in the complex dance of the stars. They had proven their worth not by the strength of their weapons alone, but by the strength of their hearts, their minds, their unbreakable will to survive and thrive. Recognizing this, the queen made a bold decision that shocked her advisors and sent ripples throughout her empire. Instead of ordering another invasion, she extended a hand of uneasy alliance to humanity. It was a gesture born not from weakness, but from the understanding that together, both species could face the challenges of the universe far better than apart. Back on the human worlds, the news of the Queen's proposal spread quickly, stirring a mix of hope, skepticism, and cautious optimism. Captain Mara Raines, the warrior who had stood toe-to-toe with the alien queen, was chosen as humanity's representative in these historic talks. As she prepared to meet the queen again, this time not on the battlefield but in the halls of negotiation, Mara felt the weight of all humanity upon her shoulders. The meeting was tense, filled with careful words and guarded gestures, but beneath the surface was a growing respect that had been forged through fire and conflict. Together, Mara and the Queen discussed not only terms of alliance, but visions for a future where humans and aliens could learn from each other, share knowledge, and protect the fragile balance of peace in a universe that was anything but forgiving. Over time, the uneasy alliance blossomed into something stronger, built on trust earned in battle and sustained through cooperation. Human warriors who had once been dismissed as myths became ambassadors of their people's resilience and ingenuity. Traveling to distant worlds and standing alongside alien allies, the story closed on a hopeful note, with Mara and the alien queen standing side by side, looking out into the endless expanse of space. They were symbols of a new era, one where humanity's legend was no longer a distant myth, but a living reality, a force respected and even feared across galaxies. Together, they set the stage for a future filled with possibilities, challenges, and the unending adventure of exploring what it truly meant to be strong, united, and brave in the face of the unknown.